Okay, this is my second attempt at trying to explain the power of the written word. It's really complex. It's a complex subject to me. I'm still learning so much about the power of the written word. Gosh, I don't even really know how to explain it because it is a very complex subject. I'm kind of like stumped, and I'm usually never stumped on explaining anything. But if I could say anything, it's all in the message that we are trying to convey to our listeners or our readers. And so we want to get the message out, and we want it to be clear, but we don't want it to be misinterpreted. Words can be conveyed so many different ways, and it really depends on the person that is listening or reading the message. And so some people interpret messages or stories or essays or books, like they can interpret the messages or the words clearly and concisely, and they interpret the words as they were intended, is what I'm trying to say. It's kind of hard to explain this because it's very complex, and the way I interpret the power of the written word may be different from others who interpret the power of the written word. I could write a paper on, I don't know, how to use a Cricut machine, which is a vinyl machine for cutting, and my message for the directions and how to use it may not come out as concise and clear as I intended it to be. So what I'm saying is, we must go over our work. We must look through it. We must make sure that we research it as much as possible, and make sure that we are conveying our message to people clearly and concisely. I think those two are the same meaning. And you're gonna laugh at me, but I actually am looking up just now the word to concise. It's basically the same thing. It says brief but comprehensive. And it's an adjective. How about that? And an adjective is, it's like a description. So, I remembered some of this stuff that I read. Though I really do need practice on all of the different parts of grammar. Especially like my singular and plural pronouns. Yeah. And verbs, like singular and plural. That was in a test that you tricked us with several times, but if I could give away any good advice, is to make sure you keep using these skills and keep on you're going to use all of these skills for the power of language. Every part of the 8 parts of grammar, you're going to use it. And you're going to use it all the time. But see, for myself, I have not used it. I have not properly used it in essays in so long that I was thinking, oh, I'm great at this. And now that I've had this class, I'm having to go back and look at my work, because what I'm finding is that I'm all over the place. I'm like that all the time. I'm like the dog who sees the squirrel and just squirrel. And that's how my papers are. My papers are very choppy and need help with organization. And sometimes I but I am not clear with objectives, theses, the body of the paper. And I'm sorry this is so long, but this goes into the power of words. If you're like the power of your words, or any written word, if it is not organized in, like if it's not organized, kind of like in order, then the reader or the listener, they are not going to understand one bit of what was written or said. It's going to go into one ear and out the other. The reader and the listener is going to be confused, and you're going to leave them very stumped, and they're going to have a lot of questions as to what in the world am I reading? What is it about? What am I listening to? I have no clue what this person is saying. It's like that. It's going to be confusing. And so that's why our papers and our essays, or anything that's written, has to be organized and in order and have a direct point. And then it's summarized, but you go over your points and things like that. And at the beginning you have your thesis statement. And I've learned that, start out with something fun at the beginning of, your essay, or something interesting at the beginning of, like the beginning of what you're trying to say, as far as the power of written words. So, words do have a lot of power. They can be positive or negative, and I choose to use my power of words for, like, just to be positive in people's lives. And I like to be a comedian too, but there's no comedian here today, just me. And I hope I kind of like pinpointed on what I was trying to say in this video. Sometimes I go on and on and on, and what I want to try to say isn't what I am trying to explain. It comes out differently. So may you have a blessed rest of your summer. And I am very thankful that I have learned a lot from this class, because I learned that I need a lot of practice. And as an educator, This is going to help me become a better writer, become, let's see, explain things more clearly, or practice on that. Easier said than done. But yeah, it's given me a lot to think about. But I choose more to think words, the power of words, should be used in a positive aspect rather than a negative, as we see so much in the world today. And how we convey that, it can be either or. It can be taken either way, and it really is. That's why we got to think carefully and write in a way that we know is not going to offend anybody, because in today's world, everybody is offended. So we just want to make sure that we write and speak great things and clearly, and use correct grammar. Most definitely. But lastly, make sure your sources and like the credentials or the sources are cited correctly, because if you don't and you're getting it from he said, she said, this source, and it's not credible or justifiable, then you can get yourself into a lot of trouble. It's like going to gossip and you've only heard one side of the story without really checking to see if it is a reliable, truthful source. So I hope that explains what I was trying to say. So anyway, goodbye, and I hope you have a blessed summer. Thank you.